Brian Westbrook here at Seller Conference with AWS Marketplace. Very excited to join Nora Di Bene. You are the Senior Director of Strategic Alliances and Strategy with Genesys. And let's get right into it. How did you start with AWS Marketplace? What was that journey?
Yeah, so we started with Marketplace back in 2020. That's when I joined Genesys. Basically, we had just put the listing on the Marketplace back then, and we had no business. And I have to successfully say that after 3 years, we're growing the business double digits, and we're really excited to hear the new things that are coming so that we can scale the business even more.
Love roadmaps, love learning what's coming ahead. What was the linchpin? What was that one thing that really turned the light on for you to realize AWS Marketplace was going to be a key part of your business strategy?
It was partially learning from AWS Marketplace specialist about the potential of Marketplace, and then also reading through the AWS report from Forrester that talked about trends in the business and how more customers are looking to buy and transact through marketplaces. And so that's when I started talking about okay, how do we start growing the business, getting more transactions through Marketplace? And that's when I discovered there's a lot of challenges associated. So it wasn't an easy road for us. There was a lot of back office structures and processes that needed to be implemented in order for us to scale successfully, doing more private offers through the Marketplace.
If I had to guess, one of those challenges would be convincing stakeholders both inside and outside your company that this was the way to go. How did you go about doing that?
Yeah, so Marketplace is interesting because it touches pretty much every single business unit within the company. Finance, operations, sales, marketing, executives, right? Everybody has to be aware and bought into the sales motion. For Genesys, this was something totally new. We're a SaaS-based company, and going through the Marketplace meant, okay, how do we now go from doing direct deals or through partners to now transacting through a Marketplace? And that's what I had to do, which was build a business case to first convince the executives that this is the way of the future, which they agreed. They all saw the benefits of Marketplace and how working through the Marketplace will help us scale and grow the business.
Yeah, and when you're at a seller conference with AWS Marketplace, it's great to be able to network and share those ideas, but you've had some success of your own. Talk to us about how long it took you to get there and what some of your results have been.
Yeah, so like I said, we had zero business back in 2020, and like I can report, double-digit growth, right, year after year. And that's still kind of holding back. We haven't done a full blown out Marketplace campaign just because we're still working through the operations piece of how to handle these transactions internally, right? Like I said, very manual processes. So that's the next step for us, is to help to get automation so that we can basically open the floodgates. And we're really excited.
And it sounds like it's been great for you personally as well in allowing you to connect with other organizations and operations inside your company. Talk to me real quick about maybe some of the barriers. You mentioned a little bit of the challenges, but what are some of the key barriers that you've come across in implementing AWS Marketplace?
Yeah, so for us, like I said, 60% of our business is outside of the U.S., right? And so currency has been a big issue or barrier. The other one is we do a lot of business indirect, so through partners. And especially when you look outside of the U.S., rest of the world, distributors are really important because a lot of times the reseller partners that we work with outside of the U.S. are more boutique, smaller partners, so they don't necessarily transact in U.S. dollars, and they're not global in nature. And so we depend on distributors. And so not having a distributor model for Marketplace has been a little bit of an issue. CPPO, channel partner private offer, is a little bit of an issue. So again, I'm excited to hear more about what's coming up in the roadmap. So to see how, I know that this has been top of mind for AWS executives. And so looking forward to hearing if they have made any changes or advances in that front.
So shy of looking into the crystal ball, what is next for the partnership? What is on your roadmap in building out AWS Marketplace and working more closely together?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we're hoping that next year we will be internally ready to fully scale and automate and operationalize the process so we can do more transactions. So we're planning a full blown out marketing campaign around Marketplace, looking forward to expanding it outside of the US globally, and also seeing what we can do with partners like resellers through CPPO as well as with distributors.
Well, Nora Di Bene, I'm excited to check in with you next year at Seller Conference, AWS Marketplace, to learn how those things have been implemented and how you've added automation and hopefully that currency you're looking for. Nora Di Bene, thank you so much for spending time with us. Senior Director of Strategic Alliances and Strategy with Genesys. I'm Brian Westbrook with GeekWire Studios. Thanks for watching from Seller Conference, AWS Marketplace.